And sure.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the current review, Central News Live. My name is Thamsanqa Tu, sometimes known as TT, sometimes known as Chairman. We have the privilege this afternoon of speaking to the MEC for Corporate Governance, Traditional Affairs and Human Settlements in the Free State, Mr. Tebogo Mokoena. Is the MEC there in that department. And we are talking about something which has become very topical at the time of the year when we talk about the state of the municipalities in our country. But we're going to be focused today in this discussion in the Free State because we're speaking to the MEC responsible for cooperative governance, traditional affairs, and generally municipalities in the Free State, Ntate Tebogo Mokoena. Thank you very much, Ntate Mokoena, for joining us today. The Auditor General has painted, a not so rosy picture of the state of the municipalities in our province. The report highlights financial health of, the financial health governance issues, service delivery issues faced by the municipalities across the province. We will discuss, the performance of some of these municipalities, especially those with alarming audit outcomes, and explore what actions will be, taken to address these challenges, in order to steer, these entities towards a more positive outcome, maybe in the later years. Could you, please start by giving us an overview of, what we have perceived from the Auditor General's findings on the state of the municipalities in the Free State?
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. There are a few key issues that the AG raises. They raise the issue of financial reporting remaining poor in the province. They raise the issue of the financially distressed municipalities, where quite a few, around 13, where they will have indicated that they will not be able to meet their obligations when they become due. The AG raised the issue of non-compliance with all key legislation, which raises material findings on non-compliance with procurement, as well as contract management legislations. There's also an issue of material irregularities amounting to 433 million, including the issue that the province is still struggling with the issue of publishing credible performance reports. You will know that this will be the issue of municipalities really submitting their annual financial statements in time to the AG. She even went to compliment Machabeng on the first ever credible performance report in relation to them submitting their internally prepared financial statements. Now, this is an issue where we should have been far. We welcome the progress made, but we necessarily expect far more than that. We have got the issue of Ngwate that could not be able to provide adequate supporting records in relation to what was required. So the issue of underperformance in terms of conditional grants, which result in the municipalities losing around about 539 million rand due to ineffective contract and project management as well. Now, the National Treasury is said to have withheld about 619 million in grant funding because of these issues. So these are a bit serious challenges in our case, which we've got to stand up and attend to them urgently and make sure that we stabilize. Most of the municipalities we have, remember, there's nothing they are able to raise that can fund key infrastructure projects. So they are dependent on grants. So we have got to deal with the issues of non-compliance, etc. Are essentially issues that lay the basis really for number of irregular expenditures, etc., which leaves various institutions really vulnerable to a financial loss, whereby there will be serious irregular and sometimes unaccounted expenditure. So it's quite a dire situation, because when you look at it in summary, there's more of a bit of negative elements than positive elements. We have a municipality that is regressing from a qualified opinion back to disclaimer. We have general really stagnation, where there's no much of a movement of our municipalities in terms of the performance and the audit outcomes. And that is a situation we wish to change within the context of the Free State. Yeah.
And the report highlights municipalities such as Marutia, Pofung, Mafube, and Mokari, which continue to receive, disclaimers. What are the underlying issues in these municipalities, and how does your department plan to assist them to address this?
Look, if you remember, we raised the issue of administrative stability. Operationally, to have your senior managers, people who are employed based on competent commitment and dedication to the public service, and those who are qualified as well. Now, the issue of senior managers is a common feature in all these municipalities that you have indicated. I think there are about 4 municipalities, as well as the Development Corporation. I think it's in Machabe. So, and the requisite skills to manage the entire ecosystem on behalf of the municipality, that's where we have challenges. So we have intervened to address exactly that. We have begun to send people to set the required capacity in the form of CFOs, acting MMs, etc., who are then expected to not just only carry the work, but also pass on the skill that they are bringing in to try to stabilize the situation. So that is more or less really what one can say around these issues.
And you do say that the issue of senior management in these entities or municipalities not being there may have an impact on this kind of audit outcomes that we find ourselves in. Municipalities tend to have spend years without having filled these critical roles. You made mention earlier of the local municipality, Mwacha local municipality, which has had, I think it's almost 3 or 4 years without senior management. And recently they have appointed the municipal manager, but your department seems to have questions around that appointment there. Are we going to get...
Which municipality is that? So I think I missed it.
The Mwacha local municipality.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes. And your department seems to have questions around the appointment of the municipal manager, for example, there. Now, if there are these disagreements between the municipalities and your department, are we likely to see an end to this continuous cycle of non-appointment of managers in these critical positions?
The employment of senior managers in local government is a regulated space. There are a number of regulations that requires you to go through them up until you reach what you call Regulation 17, which must then deliver a report. And that report should indicate on how the entire process was managed. I think when you collectively pull it together, that period is around 3 months, where each step will tell you exactly how many, what must be done within how many days. So that's why municipalities are expected to submit what is called a process plan. And this process plan, when it's submitted to COGTA, it will give us a sense as to whether these people understand how the recruitment of senior managers has got to be done, managed, and the final reports being compiled, which are then sent to the MEC for purposes of providing the concurrence. So in what, yes, it's true, we have issued a non-concurrence. It's not a difference. It's a resolution, it's by law, it is the authority and the power vested on the MEC. If certain things have not been done in line with the required resolutions, to issue a non-concurrence report to the municipality, which directs the municipality to go into council and discuss the matter and trigger a process to employ a new administrator. In the event the municipality does not oblige, we will then have to approach the courts to seek a declaratory order. That's what the law says. So the pressure to employ municipal managers does not necessarily say we've got to do things in an illegal manner. We've got to do things in a proper manner that makes sure that people are recruited properly through proper channels, and people are being brought into a system or an ecosystem where they know that accountability is not only from the elected officials or politicians. It is accountability from those who are elected and accountability from those that are appointed. So every step of the way, the law requires you to adhere to that. Just like when the National Department hires a DG, that report, the DG will not consider themselves appointed until finally approved by cabinet. We should go through a submission by the concerned minister, where it would have gone through the public, the service, etc. So we are following that process. The several of the municipalities where the employment of senior managers was just like any other issue. It's a critical aspect of law in terms of recruitment of senior managers. It's an aspect that is not optional, but it's a must on our side. So in line with that, we have issued a non-concurrence to Wante. Thank you.
And Marutiapofung has been identified as one of the worst performing municipalities. What specific financial management failures have been identified there, and how will you be able to assist them to address these challenges?
Look, we said Marutiapofung have sent in an administrator. There's also another capacities that we've sent in there. I've spoken about the interventions we're seeking to make, the investment of government in both water and sewer articulation networks in the area, the investment of the provincial government on the issues of the roads that we find in and around our areas there. So these are amongst the interventions that have been made, and we can assure you that as we speak today, there's relatively political stability and as well as administrative stability, where the municipality is able to perform its job, resolve even the most complex of issues in an environment where they are allowed to do their work. So, yeah.
And the impact of provincial interventions in municipalities that are in distress or are not able to perform as required. Have you noted improvements since you've sent interventions in these municipalities?
Look, you'll remember this is is it my third month? So we have sent, I think we've sent about 2 MMs in municipalities. It was in Mokoena, and you will know the fantastic work there that is being done by the MM together with the elected leadership of the municipality as well as the employees. We have also done the same in Marutiapofung, and I think Mr. Watson is really achieving in terms of delivering administrative stability and restore the operations of the municipality and allow really that we have a municipality that can be able to redirect the services back to our people.
And following up on the Auditor General's recommendations, how will your department ensure that these recommendations from the AG's report are implemented effectively across all the municipalities?
You said human settlement issues.
No. I mean, the recommendations that are coming from the reports from the AG, especially as they relate to municipalities. How will you ensure that these, recommendations are implemented in order to correct the wrongs that are being identified by the AG?
Like I said, we are already writing to the 5 affected. I think it's 4 municipalities as well as what you call the as well as the Development Agency in Machabeng, where the AG has written a letter that we have got to engage and make sure that these two municipalities do provide the required financial statements within. I think they were given about 2 months. So we will write and we will send the necessary help or assistance if required by these two to adhere to that. Remember when the AG issues material irregularity, we are compelled by the law to begin to work with those institutions to correct. When they issue remedial action, that is now, sort of compelling to all concerned to be responsive because they are enforceable. Now, being the regulator of the space of local government, we will intervene to make sure that those affected are able to provide the financial statements and the AG and they are able to do their work. Any instability around this area triggers the process or undermines the ability to ensure a full accountability in the ecosystem. So this is what we're seeking to reset and to have it right. Yeah.
Thank you very much, MEC. We understand that you've got another engagement in a few minutes, and we definitely would like an opportunity to engage more with you on these issues.
Thank you very much.
Perhaps maybe we get another opportunity sometime next week. All the best in your interventions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That was the MEC for COGTA in the Free State, Tebogo Mokoena, addressing us on the issues of issues that have been raised by the Auditor General, SA, around the performance of municipalities when it comes to service delivery issues, financial management issues, and other issues related to the governance of municipalities. We are